Hey guys, good evening and thanks for joining. So in the last class, we discussed about continuation of the session layer and also we completed transport layer. Along with that one, we discussed about network layer. So network layer, I did not complete yet. So I want to explain a little bit more on the network layer. So we discussed about couple of routing protocols. So example device for network layer is it is a router, and router it will provide internet, and also router it can provide the remote VPN and also site to site VPN, part of the virtual private network using public network or internet. So in the network layer, couple of routing protocols we do have. So those routing protocols are static route, dynamic route, multicast route, EIGRP, IGRP, OSPF, and BGP. So these are the routing protocols. So why we have to use these routing protocols? Whenever if you want to design the route, or whenever if you want to make sure that how our internal network related to trust zone is communicating to untrust zone related to the public or internet. In that scenario, we can make sure that we can use different types of routing protocols related to in between how many routers should be there, and also what are the default gateways, and also is there any layer 3 switches are there, or other than this one, is there any other tools we are using, and so on. So let's go and discuss about little bit in-depth analysis of the routing protocols, whatever it's a part of the network layer. As I said, first one is static route. So what exactly static route it will do? It's a fixed route, and so it will not change that route. Always it is a fixed. So for example, yesterday we were discussing about whenever if you want to travel Amirpet to high tech city, there are so many routes we discussed. One is Amirpet to, second one is Yusuf Goda, second one is Amirpet to, then we discussed about Kokatpalli JNTU, then from there, so Amirpet to, once again we discussed about Nizampet Crossroad and so on. This is the way how we can reach to respect to destination part of the high tech city. Same way, here static route, whatever route we are defining, it's a fixed route. It will not change, and always that route should be as per the administrative distance, whatever we are measuring the respective in between the source and destination as a measurement of the routing protocols wise, it will choose the path determination, that is nothing but shortest and best route. So static route, it will provide only fixed route, always in between source and destination. Whatever routers are there, whatever switches are there, it is a fixed component and it will not change whenever we are defining the routing part of the firewall or proxy, or maybe in the directly router itself. So that is called static route. So dynamic route. So according to the traffic, it will change here and there. Maybe same example, whatever we discussed yesterday, we can take Amirpet to maybe high tech city. Too much traffic is there, latency and delay and jitter will be there. In that scenario, whenever I'm traveling from, okay, so Amirpet to, so JNTU, from JNTU, once again, high tech city, maybe that is taking, even though it is too much distance as compared to this one, shortest route, maybe traffic, it will not be there. Then what I can choose, for me, time constraint issues, I can go and I can choose the best route with the less time I have to reach my destination. So traffic congestion part, or maybe latency or jitter or noise, we can forget about respective whatever distance it will be there. So according to that one, it will choose the dynamic route. So based on these traffic or congestion, or maybe so respect to noise or jitter, it will choose automatically. So dynamic route, it will change here and there, and so finally it will choose the best route. So based on the traffic congestion, dynamic route, it will work. So that is about dynamic route. Next one is multicast. It's a more than one route. So whatever routes we are defining, whatever routes it is going from source to destination, part of the packet traversal or packet traversing from source to destination, it can go and it can choose the multicast route. It's a more than one way of the route. Almost dynamic route and also multicast route like a hand in hand. So it is almost equivalent only. It's more than one route. So next one is RIP. So what is the main drawback of RIP? In between the respective source and destination. So example, maybe if I want to take our practical example, what are we discuss part our day-to-day life, in between Amirpet to high-tech city, more than 15 bus stops are there, RIP will not work. So then it will choose the respect to other routing protocol. So meaning what here? In between source and destination, more than 15 routers are there. Example 16 or 17 or 18 or 19 or 20 are greater than 15 basically. So RIP will not work. So that is the drawback of the routing information protocol. In between less than 15 routers are there from source to destination, like a bus stop, whatever I mentioned just now. So then RIP will work. If it is more than 15 routers, it will not work. So that is the drawback of the routing information protocol. If it is more than or greater than otherwise, 15 routers will be there. RIP will not recommended. So next one is EAGRP and IGRP. So in case our office is situated or located in a single location, so that particular scenario, we can use EIGRP or else IGRP, interior gateway routing protocol or extended interior gateway router protocol. So these two routers we can use for the standalone deployment or else single location deployment or single office location. For those scenarios, we can use EIGRP and also IGRP. For single location deployments, even if it is more than 15 routers also, it will work. We will use EIGRP. Even IGRP same as it is, both are almost equal. Now, what is OSPF? So as I said, EIGRP and OSPF. So
RK,
drawback, yeah, please.
sorry to disturb you, but can you mention the full forms also?
Yeah, extended interior gateway routing protocol. Yeah, I will do that. 1 second. It's a routing information protocol. So EIGRP is extended. And one more thing here. So we have protocol developers, layer 2 protocol developers, layer 3 protocol developers. Whenever you are keeping Fortinet firewall or Palo Alto firewall, so otherwise any other firewalls, they will keep like protocol developers. So layer 2 and layer 3. So layer 3 routing protocols, layer 2 is switching protocols. So whenever you are applying the job vacancies, please make sure that development related job vacancies don't apply. So these protocols, whatever just now I'm keeping, so like RIP, AGRP, OSPF, BGP, all these routing protocols, basically backend developer has to develop how the routing has chosen, maybe using Java or Python or PowerShell or maybe C or C++ and so on. So those type of L2 protocol development, L3 protocol development, for example, companies like Cisco, Juniper, Huawei or Avaya or Aruba, Aricent, so Samsung, those companies will recruit layer 2 protocol developers, layer 3 protocol developers. So those type of vacancies, please don't apply because we are not a developer. How to choose the route and what is the backend. So programming language we will use. Why I'm saying this one, couple of people are blindly applying job vacancies. For example, I will give one of the practical scenario. Recently, whatever it's happened, Splunk developer. Splunk developer. You are a developer, first of all. Don't you have common sense? Sorry to say, apologies. Please don't mind it. So whenever you're applying, you are a developer. Developer means here what programming language they will use. So respect to programming languages or maybe development language they will use to develop the SIM tool. Splunk developer means what? Splunk is a product. Splunk is a SIM tool. So SIM tool developer backend side. That means software or a hardware, maybe virtual or maybe so hybrid based. So Splunk tool developer meaning here, developer will develop the tool or programmer will develop the tool. That is nothing product development. For those type of vacancies you are applying meaning here, so you will see only one thing, Splunk, whether it is there or not. firewall, whether it is there or not, EDR, whether it is there or not. You will not read all those full-fledged roles and responsibilities, and you will not apply. That is the problem here. Splunk developer meaning here, what a SIM tool we are using. So that backend development side, that backend development who will do? Splunk is a product or tool. So that one will be developed by respect to developers or programmers as a part of the Splunk company. You are a Splunk SIM tool administrator means you can apply. Or Splunk SIM tool investigator you can apply. Or Splunk L1 or L2 or L3 or Tier 1 or Tier 2, Tier 3 you can apply. So these things also they are missing out. Finally, if you are applying for these vacancies related to development side, that means product development or application development, can you crack the interview? Can you crack the interview?
No.
Yeah, obviously you will not crack the interview. They'll expect programming languages. They'll expect respect to what the product they want to develop. You'll not crack it. So when you're expecting roles and responsibility itself, so job mismatch. So why I'm saying all this, I'm seeing is even though practically couple of people are working, even though they do have approximate 5 plus, 4 plus, 6 plus years of experience, they are doing these mistakes. Okay, so why I'm saying this one now, whenever if you want to apply related to developer, please skip those profiles. Why? Because whenever you're keeping IBM QRadar or Fortinet EDR or CrowdStrike or Palo Alto Firewall or proxy servers and so on, they'll expect even development as well, backend product development. Okay, one more thing I want to clarify here itself. Whenever if you want to apply job vacancies like a routing and switching, load balancer, please don't apply. Routing and switching and load balancer is a part of the network admin. It's not a part of our job. Network engineer will take care. If you have job vacancies like network firewall or next generation firewall or proxy or network IDS, network IPS implementation or architecture or level 1 or level 2, level 3 operational support, you can apply. Okay, so these things are basic thing, and blindly please don't go without reading any job profile in the Naukri or LinkedIn or Indeed, whatever. So please don't apply it. Maybe in case, so why they will shortlist your resume even though blindly you are applying? HR is not aware of all these. They will work on the multiple profiles, multiple technologies. They will see only keywords like, as I said previously, so router, a switch, or maybe L2 or L3, or Splunk or IBM QRadar. Even though it is development or even though if it is SIM to security, they're not sure about what is mean by that one. Okay, so that's what. Yeah, sorry, I'm going for too much outside of the respective roles. So this is what you have to take care. So why I'm saying this one, one of the, not one guy, two or three guys applied layer 2, layer 3 product development or protocol development related to router and switch. That is not part of our role. Even layer 2 switching part, layer 3 routing part also not part of our job role. Whenever any networking side job vacancies like firewall or proxy or a network IDS or network IPS, network detection response, then only you can apply. Otherwise, just you can skip the network security related job vacancies. That's it. Hope it's clear. Extended interior gateway routing protocol. IGRP, interior gateway routing protocol. And OSPF, open shortest path first. So why we will use OSPF? So we will use OSPF is for the internet, sorry, more than one location. If our office is located like a distributed deployment, in case our office is situated or deployed in the single location, that is called standalone deployment. If it is more than one location, we can call it as distributed deployment. Give me 1 second, guys. This mic issue. Sorry, guys. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever you are getting any noise from my side, because whatever mic I'm using, it has a lot of disturbance. And also, moreover, I'm keeping under my mouth. So that is the reason maybe you'll get some of the chopping related issues or breaking related issues or noise related issues. Please let me know. Okay, so OSPF is mainly for the open shortest path first. In case if our office is located or maybe implemented in the distributed wise, more than one location, in that scenario, we can use open shortest path first protocol. It is very, very popular protocol out of all these routing protocols. Most of the cases we'll use very, very routing protocol is OSPF. So for distributed deployment, so we'll use OSPF. Then when we'll use border gateway routing protocol or border gateway protocol for internet purpose. So every organization, it will maintain the internet. That particular internet also mainly two different types of vendors. So why they don't use same vendors? For example, Vodafone or AT&T or OBS, Orange Business Services, or maybe Vipulcom or BSNL, or maybe so whatever other telecom service providers we do have. So why? Because if I use same two vendors as high availability in my location where the office is situated or deployed, if Vodafone, if I am using in my organization, so if we have any network outage or telecom service related outage, it will appear. Obviously, I can't access my internet, or availability issues will occur, or business disruptions will occur, or outage related issues will occur. So that is the reason whenever we are choosing the internet connectivity, always we have to choose two vendors. Maybe for example, Vodafone and Airtel, or Vodafone or Idea, or Vodafone or Jio, and so on. This is the way. So two different types of vendors we will choose. One connection is for the Vodafone side, one connection is for the, for example, Jio side. If maybe Vodafone will go down, so then we can use for Jio. If Jio will go down, then we can use for Vodafone. So that is the reason always we have to use the two different types of vendors to make sure that availability issues will not occur, disruptions issues will not occur, and also outage related issues will not occur. Okay, so that particular thing will be done by using border gateway routing protocol or border gateway protocol. So that's all about overall. Okay, so network layer. So far we completed 5 layers from top to bottom. So 7th one, 6th one, 5th one, 4th one, 3rd one, and we have 2 more layers. Those 2 layers are, so layer number 2 data link layer, and layer number 1 physical layer. Let's start. Yeah, before going to that one, I given already example yesterday itself. Okay. Layer number 2. So layer number 2 is data link layer. And what data link layer it will do? So in between source and destination, through media, data can be transferred without any errors. And finally, data can be received by respective recipient. So that is meant by data link layer here. How this particular data can be transferred or traversed. So based on the data format is like frames, and frames use 2 different types of multiplexing technology. One is called time division multiplexing and frequency division multiplexing using sine wave, cos wave, or tan wave. So for example, we studied part of our engineering, right? Electronic devices and circuits, and also other devices, couple SLC and so on. So here, basically, whatever data link layer through media, if you are sending the data, it will use frequency division multiplexing and also time division multiplexing and very popular multiplexing technology, time, because time is very important to receive the data from sender to receiver. Okay, so how the data can be transferred through media? So what are the different types of medias are there from so long back? Okay, so olden days to till date. So before, okay, we got all these communication technologies. Whenever if you want to communicate India to Britain or India to USA or India to Germany and so on, we used to do. So DOW is a one of the, okay, so our pigeon, we used to send respective pigeon or maybe servant from kingdom to kingdom, and we can exchange the communication. After that, so we have, whenever computer is entering into the market, so we used water through, and also we used air, and also we used optical fiber communication, and also we used satellite communication. So like GSLV and PSLV. So this is the way how the data can be transferred in between source to destination using a media. And also whenever the data is traversing from source to destination related to point protocol, or maybe using ADSL and SDL connections, so it will not provide any disturbances or any noise and any errors. So that particular data can be represented using data link layer. So what is the keyword you have to remember here? It's a media. Okay. So how we can define this one now? It can be used for data transfer in between source and destination using media. So that media may be, example media. So air is one of the media. Water is one of the media. Why? Because, so as I said, optical fiber communication, for example, India and Britain or India and UK. So if you want to communicate, we used to do prior to GSLV and PSLV related to satellite communication using CSMA and CDA technology. So through optical fiber under the different types of oceans, and we used to keep balloons as a part of the repeaters, and in such a way to make sure that so physical theft should not be happen, and also whatever cable laying we are doing, we can make sure that how the particular source to destination path it's look like. So we used to keep balloons to identify the path in between source to destination, even though so whatever 70% of the our land is covering through water or oceans. Okay, so water is one of the media. In the similar way, optical fiber, and also finally satellite communication. So these are the different types of media we can use to make sure that in between source to destination data can be transferred. So now what is the data format or protocol data unit under the data link layer? Frames, and frames use time division multiplexing. So whenever any so packet you are sending part of the frame, in between source and destination, it has to reach very quickly. Okay, so there it will use TDM. TDM is a time division multiplexing. It can a parallel technology so that in between source to destination without any latency or jitter or noise, packet has to reach. And what are the couple of attacks will fall under the so respect to data link layer? RARP, poisoning attack, or spoofing attack is one of the famous attack by the way. In the similar way, RARP, flooding attack, MAC flood attack. So these are the couple of attacks will fall under the MAC, media access control. And next one, example protocols are, so as I said, RARP and also point to point. So RARP is nothing but reverse address resolution protocol. So what it will do, it will convert layer 2 MAC address to layer 3 IP address. So next one, we do have point to point protocol P2P. So here it will use different types of digital subscriber line using physical layer. One is called ADSL and also SDSL. So ADSL is called as asynchronous digital subscriber line. So, and also SDSL is nothing but synchronous digital subscriber line. So always data link layer and also physical layer like a hand in hand. So point to point meaning here dedicated to one's. Okay. So we have to receive the data. For example, if I want to say practical scenario, I don't want to share travel with anyone. I don't want to travel in public transport, or maybe I don't want to travel with Uber or Ola or Rapido with others. I want dedicated to myself as a travel part. Then what I will do? I'll book, okay, so respective, so cab or maybe so two-wheeler or four-wheeler to myself without sharing to others. Without sharing to others is called as synchronous digital subscriber line. With sharing to others is called asynchronous digital subscriber line. So these two also will fall under the part of the respective so data link layer along with physical layer. And also we have ATM. So ATM means not that particular ATM, whatever we are withdrawing the machine, it's asynchronous transfer mode. So data can be transferred. So that is also will fall under the data link layer only. So these are one of the protocol. So these are all the protocols will fall under, and example device under the respective data link layer, it is a switch. So switch will not support any internet. Switch will not support any VPN connectivity. Switch completely will support intranet connectivity and also within the organization. So note, switch will not support for internet, and also switch will not support for VPN connectivity. So that is one thing. Not only that one, even if you want to communicate two different areas, office locations, two different states, or two different cities, or two different countries, two different continents, switch will not support. Only router can support that one. So that particular process, we can call it as a router on stick as per CCNA. Okay. Switch also will not support if two areas, offices should communicate via public network or internet. And there are three different types of switches we do have. So already I have shown switch symbol. So switch symbol, it contains the four different types of arrow marks in the opposite way. So let's go here. So I'll go for Cisco switches. So this is the switch symbol. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the switch symbol basically. Switch will broadcast the traffic. Switch is a layer 2 device. And also switch is an intelligent device. What is meant by that one I'll explain later. And also switch has a couple of switching protocols. And also switch can take care of the respective virtual LAN connectivity. That is called VLAN. Okay. So all these functionalities can be done by switch. So this is the switch symbol. So there are three different types of switches every organization it will maintain. Those three switches are, first one is access switch. Second one is distributed switch. Third one is a core switch. So what is meant by access switch, core switch, and distributed switch? So whenever if you want to access any network or any server or database or application or maybe cloud or maybe public request to switch only. Which switch it will go? Access switch. From there, it will go to distributed switch. From there, it will go to core switch. From there, it will go to layer 3 switch or router. From there, it will go to NADS and APS, proxy, firewall, internet, and ISP router. Finally, whatever public websites you are accessing, according to that one, the traffic will go away from our internal network to external public websites. This particular process is called as outbound traffic or outgoing traffic. So always end user employee related first request, where it will go to access switch. Whenever you are visiting any shopping mall or any restaurant or any hotel, so or any airport, please see all these different switches. They will do wall mounted part. Okay, so all these things, they'll make one of the wall mount and they will keep one of the switch there. From there, they will connect to multiple laptops or desktop or otherwise, respect to MacBooks and workstations. Along with that one, you can see access points part of the ceiling, and also you can see the respect to Wi-Fi connections, all these things. So, but unfortunately, will not do all those. Whenever I will go some X places, Y place, or Z or G places, first thing I will see what type of security they are using, part of the physical security, how the network they implemented. They do have really switch, they do have really Wi-Fi. If they have switch or router, where did they deploy? They have done the in the respective on top of the reception, or where the switch is located, where the router is located. Is there any CCTV cameras? Are there part of the physical security? How the access control they are trying to implement? If the customer wants to enter into the respective McDonald or KFC or Cave Coffee Day and so on. Okay, so all those things basically, if you're watching right now onwards, at least you will see physical security and you'll get a couple of ideas. So what is my data link layer and what is my physical layer? Okay, so that is about switch part here. And now, so types of switches. First one is access switch. Second one is distributed switch. Third one is core switch. So access switch is first entry point to end user. End user request always will go to access switch as a first point. So distributed switch is like an intermediate switch or broker in between access switch and core switch. It's not a compulsory or mandatory to maintain the distributed switch. It is a intermediate device or switch in between core switch and the access switch. Core switch, what the core switch will do? It will maintain the entire traffic of the organization. That is called core switch. It will maintain entire traffic of the organization. What the entire traffic of the organization is called as? What the entire traffic of the organization is called as? Anyone?
Net flow.
Exactly. Excellent. Net flow data. So couple of example of access switch is Cisco 2500 model number. It's one of the model number. Cisco 4500 model number is belongs to distributor core switch. Very high end chassis based related to telecom sector or banking sector or healthcare industry or retail sector. They will use very big chassis based. So one of the switch, so that switch may be example 6500 or else 7500. Let's go and see now these switches. Cisco 2500 switch or router, whatever. Images. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah, so this is basically switch. There are different types of Ethernet interfaces. This particular switch, we have to do a rack mount. There are two different types of mounting will be there. If you want to install or deploy any network devices, one is called wall mount. Second one is called rack mount. All the data center oriented network devices like a servers or databases or load balancers or routers or switches, we can deploy most of the case like a rack mount. Why? Because if you are everything deploying wall mount, so we don't know what is the input for the X to Y and what is the output of Y to Z as an input of X. We will get confusion part. That is the reason everything will make it as a rack mount and wall mount. Couple of people in our home or house, so they don't have sufficient place to deploy or to implement or to install television or TV. So what they will do, they'll make one TV stand and they will, otherwise they'll make like a wall mount. So in the wall itself, they can fix bolts and they can implement our respective television part, or they deploy our television. Okay, so there are two different types of mounting. One is called rack and also second one is called wall. Most of the cases, data center oriented mounting can be done using rack mount only. Okay, so this is Cisco 2500 series switch. So these switches has combination of both power supply and also it has Ethernet interfaces. It will support up to 100 GB, sorry, 100 MB or 1 GB, like 10 MB, 100 MB or 1000 MB or else 1 GB. And also it will support fiber optic cables like greater than 1 GB. That may be 10 GB or 100 GB or 1000 GB or 1 terabytes or 1 picobytes and so on. Additionally, we can do the backup through USB drive. So that is also will be there. And we can make a high availability. If you want to increase the disk space, we can increase disks as well. So that is the reason we can use this switch. If you are migrating to cloud environment, there is no need to maintain any physical switches. So we can go and we can purchase directly switches using BYOL concept. What does it mean by BYOL in cloud? It's a bring your own license. Maybe I'm using Amazon, or maybe I'm using Azure, or Google Cloud Platform, or Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OSI Cloud, or IBM Cloud, or Alibaba Cloud, and so on. In that scenario, I don't want to use Amazon-based switches or routers, but I want to use Cisco switches because it's very famous for switching and routing part. Then I can choose respect to BYOL license as a part of Cisco 2500. Right now I'm sharing in my screen and I can purchase that one. And after that I can go and I can implement interfaces. What is the beauty of the cloud? Elasticity. Both horizontal and vertical growth, we can increase or we can decrease as well. So that is called elasticity. And also we have high availability and also we have reliability. All these are very, very most important. Cost is ineffective solution if you are migrating to cloud as a PaaS or IaaS or SaaS. Okay, so these things are applicable to cloud as well, by the by. Don't think like it's only hardware devices. Even we can deploy virtual appliances as well, part of the cloud using BYOL concept. So this is Cisco 2500 series switch. In the similar way, 4500 switch. So this 4500 switch. In this similar way, so very, very big chassis. This is also 4500. And also this called chassis basically. It will support for high-end bandwidth or high-end speed. We can use this chassis based switch 700, 500, 6500. So you can see this is the one 6500 switch. Wherever speed is very, very, very high, for example, as said, telecom service providers or banking sectors or healthcare industries or else retail based industries, there we can deploy these type of switches because there every time we can receive large number of the requests and also large number of the responses as well. For example, maybe Amazon, I'm ordering something all over the world, 24/7. So they will place the orders in Amazon, retail web shop, in this Flipkart or Zomato or Swiggy. So those places where the traffic is very high, those scenarios we can use these chassis based catalyst switch so that it can maintain the speed and also performance and also most importantly growth and reducing the noisy as well. So that is about overall access switch versus distributed switch versus core switch.
For the entire organization, how many core switches we have to
It
make?
depends. It depends on the topic. I can't give the proper count how many switches and routers are required. Completely depends on the how many flow per second, how much flow data it is depending on, how many number of end users are there in the organization, how many servers are there, how many databases are there, how many applications are there.
More
According
than
to according to that one only we can go and we can choose.
We do have this 24 port switch and all. So is there any difference between that?
Yeah, that is basically Ethernet interface wise.
Okay.
So interfaces wise, so we do have the interfaces wise switches. We have 8 port in our home. Whatever router switch we are deploying, that is 4 port only. You can see only 4 Ethernet interfaces in the router. In the similar, we have 8 port switch, and also we have 12 port switch, 24 port switch, 36 port switch, and finally we do have the 48 port switch and routers. So why we have to use those many interfaces? Because in our organization we have more number of servers and databases, and one interface's input is output for the another interface of the respective other device. So in case if our data, if in our organization contains more number of the servers and databases and also network devices, yes, we can use according to that one, which switch is suitable, whether it is 8 or 12 or 24 or 36 or 48.
So generally, these network device related decisions like which needs to become, which needs to become where. So these and all things done by the architect level guys, right?
Yeah, so that is called network architect, not security architect. So as
Yes.
I said, everywhere architect will be there. He will take care of the designing part. Even we do have one of the certification for this one. Right now, whatever I was discussing yesterday, and also I am discussing today. So Cisco design, one of the certification is there. So from there on, I'm taking all these things and also CSSP. So those network architect guy will take care of how many switches are required, how many routers are required, how many access switches are required, distributed switches are required, core switches are required. You are right.
So there will be no differentiation like only. So you have said about 2500 Cisco switch, right?
Yeah.
So how many ports does this have? Because it's a end user one, we'll have only 4 ports here.
Yeah, that is a personal oriented area network. It's a PAN card.
Okay.
So we have 4 ports routers related part. In the similar way, so if it is enterprise, there are 3 different business verticals we do have. One is called small, second is called medium, third is called enterprise level. In case our internal employees of the organization contain 0 to 1000, wherever the users are required, most of the cases we can purchase either 12 or 24.
Okay.
In case medium business oriented, okay. So for example, take Swiggy or Zomato. It's a startup companies. Corona time only these companies are become very famous to order the food. Okay. So now there it is only employees are, it's like medium based companies. When the company started, it's like a small based industry, small scale industries. Now, for example, Priyank is starting one of the new company and their employees are belongs to only 0 to 100. Then I can use only 12 port switch.
Okay.
So in case the employees of the count on traffic is a little bit very high, in between 1000 to 10,000, there we can require 24 to 36. In case the employees are more than 10,000, like multinational companies or CMM5 level companies or big data companies, there we need 48 switches plus.
Okay.
Is it clear now?
Yeah. So the last one which you have shown is used for the enterprise edition.
That one is belongs to medium scale industry. Yeah, last one is enterprise level. You are right.
So basically, we do have greater than 48 ports is what you're saying for that.
No, 48 or 48 to 96 also, but 48 is very highest one. So
Okay.
even they thought to develop 96 also based on the customer feedback related to wherever the big data analytics part and data science and wherever automobile industry and electrical industry, civil industries, telecom industries and banking sector, they said like more than 48 which is not required. So highest port of the switch is 48 only.
So can we use it's like a two core switches when we are using for this one?
Yes, we can do like so serial processing technology. For example, our core switch is supporting only so 100 GB 1 terabytes. For example, 1 terabyte. So that is not sufficient related to 48 switch. Then what I can do, I can add one more switch with another 1 terabytes. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is the way how I can take care of the total aggregation part.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So that is about overall types of the switches. Now, so there are two different types of sub layers are there, part of the data link layers.
Sorry to disturb you, sir.
Yeah, please. Your voice is chopping. Hello.
Switch contains a number of ports, maybe 8, 12 or 24 as you said right now.
Yes.
So that means these ports are connected to the end users, end devices.
No, these switches will not connect to end users. So these switches will connect to, so where the traffic is coming aggregation part only. So every end user will not connect to these switches. If every end user is connected to these switches, we need maybe more than 10,000 interfaces.
Yeah, okay.
So that is the reason we are creating virtual LAN, VLAN.
Okay.
So we can do the segregation of the LAN interface using virtual LAN. That is what I'm going to discuss now.
Okay. So the switch, the access switch, as you said, access switch is like that means suppose if you have a 10 employees in a company, so how many, that means each company needs a port in that particular switch, I mean access switch.
Exactly, that's correct. For example, maybe so you need so Act FiberNet or Velocity or Hathway or maybe City Cable connectivity. So what they will do, they will install one of the port related to one of the switch or maybe one of the respective cable connectivity. From there, they can make like a distributed part. So one of the port they will assign to your home, one of the port they will assign to me, another one of the port they will assign to my neighbors and so on. So this is the way how they can do the distribution part from our main port to the respective distributed port.
That means one port is distributed to so many different end points or end users.
Yes, access switch, especially on the access switch, yes, you are right. So one interface we can configure to multiple end users as well, part of the virtual LAN concept.
Okay, that means this since the switch will not support to internet, as you said, that switch is connected to the router or something different.
That switch is first the access switch will connect to distributor switch. As I said, distributor is not a mandatory. So it depends on the how many employees or end users are there in the organization. So from there we will connect to core switch. From there we will discuss this one part of the network architecture diagram. So how the actual architecture diagrams look like, that may be cloud network architecture diagram or maybe physical data center architecture diagram, for example. So this is one of the end user. You are a part of HR team and you are connected to this particular access switch. Now from this access switch, so our company is a little bit high and it's a multinational company. Then I can use one of the broker or intermediate device switch as well. This is called as a distributed switch. So from there, I can use one more switch that is called a core switch. So this is CS core switch. So from here, I will use the, so next one is router. It's a layer 3 switch. So here only it will provide the internet. So then I can put core switch output connection to our main router internet connection. For example, this one is Cisco 7500. So from here, what I will do, I will implement couple of security controls. Those controls are, for example, to take care of the defense in depth layer approach. So NADS, NAPS. So then I will connect it to another device name is called proxy or web gateway. So then I will connect it to one more, our main, very important device in our organization. Every organization will maintain firewall as a perimeter. So from here, whatever service provider of the internet I'm using, as I said, either it is Act or maybe Vodafone or Orange Business Service or AT&T and so on. So here I will give it to my ISP router, internet service provider router, for example, Vodafone. So from here, Vodafone, it will reach to the public network. That is nothing but internet. So this is the overall network architecture diagram. So this is the way how the whenever end user is connecting the public websites, that is the way the flow or traffic will go away from as a outbound traffic or outgoing traffic. In the similar way, whenever public they are trying to access our internal facing websites, so same way from public to it will come to the internet, internet to Vodafone, ISP router, firewall, proxy, NADS, NAPS, Cisco switch, Cisco router and core switch, distributed switch, access switch. Then it will go to wherever my web server that is hosted in the trust zone. So for example, here I hosted my facebook.com, part of the web server related to Apache and Tomcat. Now he will access this particular Facebook. This is called as inbound traffic or incoming traffic. So this one, don't worry, we can discuss part of our network architecture diagram. This is applicable to both on-premise and cloud as well. Is it clear?
So basically, we don't need to use distributive and core switch for all the networks, right?
Yeah, it depends. That's what I said. Whether your organization belongs to small or medium or enterprise level, small and medium, it is not required. Only enterprise level distributed switch is required.
Okay.
It depends. Okay.
So, sir, excuse me, sir. That means on this flood, MAC flood attack and RARP poisoning attack will happen on this switch, right?
Yeah, on this core switch or maybe distributed switch or maybe so access switch as well.
Okay.
So whenever any
that
MAC
means,
flood attacks it will occur, he has to bypass so many things. So how he will do? Maybe he will bypass our credentials related to switch, and then he will bypass our credentials, will compromise our switch, or maybe, so if you don't enable the flooding category of the respective policies in the firewall, or maybe in the, so proxy is not support flooding category, NADS and APS will support for flooding category. If you are bypassing all these, then he is going to make it a selection of the target as a recon is switch. Yes, he can do that.
okay. That means he has to travel from ISP to a proxy to, and this all architecture has to be followed. He has to also follow the OSI layers.
Obviously, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So then we can go to next topic is there are two layers part of the data link layer. These two layers are sublayers basically. What are those two sublayers? One is logical link control. This already we discussed part of our network definitions or definitions whatever we discussed in the last week, and also MAC, media access control. So media access control is very simple. So through media, the data or frames can be transferred from source to destination. So that is called media access control. So example media, I said water or air or satellite communication. Coming back to logical control. So logical control is very important little bit. So by the way, out of these 7 layers, in 2022, SBI Bank is released 200 cyber security vacancies. And only in voice layers, we got 6 questions. only in OSI layers. Out of 70 questions of the technical paper, we got 6 questions. Maybe you can ask now, how do you know that? Because I have written the exam. Okay. So
Do we have interview followed that?
yes, yeah, the interviews followed that one. So basically what they requested part of the notice, they need masters of the degree that is
Okay.
mainly into engineering part, like
Okay.
MTech or MBA or MCA and so on.
Okay.
But even though I got all India second rank in the written test, but unfortunately I don't have master's degree. I disqualified in the basic qualification part of my degree itself. I mean educational certifications. It's okay, fine for me. They lost one of the technical guy. I am positive person always. Yeah, sorry to bring my personal topic here. Apologies.
And one more question I have related to this data link layer. Basically, point-to-point tunneling protocol, where does this we use?
So point-to-point tunnel protocol mainly on the, as I said, especially SDSL, synchronous digital subscriber line, and
Okay.
you need dedicated internet. You don't want to share with other people or other companies.
Okay.
In that scenario, we can use point-to-point.
It's like a landline connection which we used previously, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, logical link control here. Logical link control, it is not a physical switch. It is a completely virtual connection or logical connection. So what is this logical link control it will do? In this switch, we can configure virtual local area network configurations using one of the dedicated identifier that is called VLAN ID. Okay, so how this virtual LAN we can configure? So that particular VLAN configuration will be done by our switching team, part of the network or network admin. So they can go and they can create, as he asked someone previously, one physical switch, how many interface it contain, whether one interface can be connected to only one person. No, based on the port, we can connect to multiple end users also, one of the physical interface part of the switch. So those configuration where we can do using virtual local area network or LAN segmentation. For example, I'll go back to here. One sec, guys. So in this scenario, basically what we will do. So I will create one of the network architecture diagram. So in this network architecture diagram, so take one of the physical building connection. In that particular physical building connection, maybe it contains maybe 2 or 3 floors, part of the ground floor, first floor and second floor as well. Okay, so take example, this one may be second floor. So next one is first floor. So next one is ground floor. So example GF. So now each and every floor, couple of employees are sitting. For example, take this one is a HR team. So this is also HR team, for example, same as it is. So this HR team. So in the first floor and second floor and also in the ground floor, they are sitting in the HR team. So maybe this HR team or talent acquisition team is supporting for the DevOps team recruitment part. And this HR team is supporting for the cyber security. And this HR team is supporting for the maybe machine learning and artificial intelligence. In that scenario, what will happen basically? So all these people will, okay, so coordinate and collaborate, or reporting structure, they'll make it to HR director. Even though they are sitting in the ground floor and first floor and second floor, so they will always reporting to one of the HR director. Even though physically they are separated, but logically they are belongs to same group. So those things can be done by our particular switch. So now maybe here 10 members are sitting part of the HR team in the second floor. And also here they are sitting in the 10 members. And here also they are sitting in the 20 members. So now everywhere I can make a local area network segmentation part of the virtual LAN. And here I will assign 20 members of the HR team members related to machine learning and artificial intelligence, as I said previously. In the similar way, so they will represent part of the cyber security, so 10 members, and also they will represent part of DevOps team related to 10 members. So in such a way, so everywhere they can make DHCP, so dynamic host configuration protocol, to make sure that each and every IP address allocated automatically related to DevOps team, machine learning team, and cyber security team, that LAN segmentation can be done part of our switch. So how this particular ID we can make, all these people are physically separated, but logically they are belongs to same team. So here that particular identification I can make via virtual LAN. So that is called VLAN. So who will configure this particular VLAN or virtual LAN segmentation? Asset switch team. So they are belongs to physically different, second floor, first floor, and ground floor, but logically they are belongs to same team. They are reporting to single director. So that is called logical link control. In our practical scenario, how we can do? So example, as I said previously, SDLC life cycle, software development life cycle. We have the requirement phase, design phase, development phase, and testing phase. All the requirement phase people, they will use AHA application to make sure that whenever any new feature or modifying the existing feature, they will make sure that product backlog requirement part of the Agile and Scrum process. We are not using waterfall method anymore. Second one is, so in the design team, so they will do the software architecture diagram or product architecture diagram or mobile architecture diagram. And also in the development side, part of the CI/CD pipeline, continuous development and continuous integration. So every feature whatever we are developing, part of the product or mobile or application, so we can change our code. And also finally testing phase. So normal testers, they will do functional testing and feature testing using load runner or Selenium or JavaScript or Java tools. So finally, if everything is fine, there are no performance related issues or application compatibility issues or compatibility issues will fall under, they will release to the public after doing security testing. Now here there are total different types of teams are involved: requirement team, design team, okay, so development teams, testers, site reliability engineer, DevOps team, tech ops team, and so on. Now what I can do, whatever environment I created to requirement phase is different. Whatever requirement I created to design team is different. Whatever requirement I created to part of the DHCP configuration via LAN segmentation for developers is different, and port numbers are different. In the similar way, testers, in the similar way, DevOps team, SecOps team, tech ops team, site reliability engineer team. So this is the way how I can make sure that LAN segmentation related to end user can be done by using virtual LAN. And who will do that virtual LAN configuration? That virtual LAN configuration using VLAN identification can be done by our network switching team. And according to that one, we can assign the so much so and so IP addresses to respective backend our end users. This is the way how the logical link control will work. Okay, I took two examples. So one is our end users point of view related to SDLC life cycle. Second one is HR team side. So these are all two practical examples. So in this switch, we will create virtual LAN or logical LAN to separate user LAN segmentation, server LAN segmentation, database LAN segmentation extra, using dedicated identifier is called as VLAN ID, virtual LAN ID. So that is a virtual LAN concept where we can do that particular concept or configuration. This when we can do part of the switch, and this particular configuration will be done by respective network switching team. And we have couple of example protocols under the switch or data link layer. One is STP, second one is HSRP, third one is VRRP. So what is STP here? Spanning tree protocol. It is very popular used protocol. It will not funny any loop formation. Hot standby routing protocol. Even though it is a routing, it is a basically switching part. And virtual routing redundancy protocol. So these are all the three protocols will fall under this switch. Spanning tree protocol, what it will do, it will not form any loopholes or loops, basically, meaning traffic congestion will not happen, and there is no jitter or noise. So that is called spanning tree protocol. So spanning tree protocol. So already given, sorry, full names are given already. Hot standby routing protocol, meaning here it is only single switch. It does not have any backup. That is called hot standby routing protocol. Virtual routing redundancy protocol. In the switch itself, virtually will configure as a switching protocol. That is called VRRP. Okay, so that's all about overall switch. And the switch will not support for any internet. Switch will not for any VPN. So that's all about overall data link layer. Okay, so finally, layer number 1, physical. So what is physical layer functionality? It will provide end-to-end communication using physical cable connectivity. For example, hub is one of the example. In the similar repeaters, transceivers, antennas, transmitters. So all these will fall under our physical cable connectivity, everything like a physical thing. So what are different types of attacks will fall under? And before going to attacks, so data format is binaries. So nothing but raw bits. So what are the raw bits we do have? 0 and 1. And the data format is raw bits or binaries. And what are the different types of attacks will fall under this particular physical layer? Physical theft. Whenever someone is stealing or cutting our cables or taking the repeaters to their home by disconnecting the cables or transceivers or antennas and so on. So these things we can make sure that it should be available. As I said, whenever before India got freedom, and also there is no satellite communication, only optical fiber communication. That time we used all these repeaters, generator, transceivers. Even now everywhere cable connectivity, we are not using any more antennas. So that particular things also we used antennas to get our television's part. Okay, so these are all physical cable connectivity. So that's all about overall. So 7 layers of the OSI, open system interconnection, or else OSI reference models, or else OSI layers. So out of all these, what we can guess from the interview point of view, I can write couple of interview questions as well right now itself. First one is explain about voice layers, or explain about voice reference model. So third one of the end user is accessing google.com in his browser. What is the backend process? What is the backend process?
OSI layer approach.
Voice layer approach. Perfect. So what is the difference between encryption and hashing? So next one, what is the difference between
Router and
encryption, encoding, and hashing? So next one is, what is the TCP three-way handshake? Next one is, what is difference between TCP and UDP? Next one, encryption will fall under which layer? Next one, explain about each and every layer attack. Next one, what is the difference between router and switch? Next one, router will fall under which layer? Next one, switch will fall under which layer? So next one,
ARP related.
yeah, what is ARP and RARP differences? Yeah, as I said, I can make, so these are very, very popular questions. I can make 1000 entire question itself in the voice layer alone. So I can make 1000 questions. It's not a joke, seriously. Everywhere I can make a question and I can ask and I can make 1000 entire question. It depends on the interviewer side, what type of experience he faced in his past career or in his present experience wise related to OSI. According to that one also we can expect. But whatever I said just now, so these are the regular based or regularly whatever question we can expect from the voice layers. That doesn't mean that you have to ignore other protocols and port numbers, data format, and each and every layer, description, authentication, authorization, everything, totally end to end. You should be thorough on all these. Then only you can give any answer. What 1000 questions we can make part of the voice layer. Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's all for today. So I did not complete yet difference between switch and router, and also I did not complete TCP flags. I did not complete IP header or IP packet. So these are the couple of things are pending part of the voice layer itself. And tomorrow I can complete all these. Then I can move to next topic is called TCP IP layers. Once the topic is completed, then I can move to classification of the IP address. That's all for today, guys. Do you have any questions? Okay, then. Thank you so much. And I can upload this particular video within 1 hour, and you can review this video. And so see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. IST.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you, sir.
night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Mhm.